Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. My name is Leticia. Welcome to the channel. Today, I'm having one of those days where my mind wanders, goes through a lot of, bad trips when it starts telling you weird stories about your own self, and then your body, it's also not doing great. Well, most of the time for me, they are together, they're connected. Body and mind go into that weird vibe state. That's one of those days that I'm having. And, because of the end of the year and all of this nostalgic feelings, I watched a Lisa Eldridge video. I'm gonna link it here. And it's a beautiful video. She's doing a makeup for a friend, I suppose, and also a children's book writer. And they start talking about their grandmas and their experience and all the nostalgic vibe. And I thought it was a beautiful theme to work on for our makeup look. So let's do it. Brushing one's hair, I feel like it's part of that ritual that it's so calming and relaxing and can show so much love. It's something that, you might have experienced from your grandma, your mom, or do it with your own children. And it's just so nice. It just, warms up my heart. It makes me think about my grandmas for many reasons. I love them very much. Both of them already passed away. But I remember them making coffee with milk for me. Both of them actually in their own ways. They always had some coffee, had some food, and put some milk and warm it up and warm my heart. That's might be one of the reasons why for me coffee with milk is just such a warming heart thing. It brings me such joy and cozy feelings I cannot describe. So cheers to the grandmas. And when I think about both my grandmas, of course, back then, almost no one wore a lot of makeup unless you were working with theater, movies and stuff. Both of them were very different in their own approach. One of them had short curly hair, the permed hair. But she was always wearing red nail polish, which I have to work on that right now. I have to remove my nail polish, but I love a red. So I guess that's the next step after the makeup. But she never wore any, makeup, but I could remember the smell of her house, the coffee and the other endearments. She was also a seamstress. She didn't work with that anymore when I was a child, but she still made a lot of clothes for herself. And she was very creative, very ingenious and resourceful, very smart with math and geometry, handling the house. Everyone's grandmas and moms are going to be different, but there's always things that we can appreciate and look back in a lovely way. It's wow, what a hero. And my other grandma, that one actually liked to cook a lot. She was always cooking, it's always putting the table, serving things. So I just used the e.l.f. primer. Didn't say anything about it. I am testing some foundation, so I'm going with a cushion today to make a very, as much as I can, natural skin. Let's see how it goes. After the e.l.f. primer, I'm not sure if it's a good combination. I have a feeling they don't go well together. Let's see. Yeah, so this other grandma, she was really careful about her appearance when she went out, and it was lovely because every time she came to visit us, she would be wearing her whole shirt with embroidered collar, very white and crisp with pearl buttons, her pearls. And of course, something that as a kid she would sleep with me in the same room because we didn't have a visitor's room. She had her red lipstick in a gold container. That was her thing, and she would always be so poised, so put together when she went out with pencil skirt, her kitten heels, very reminiscent of the beginning of the last century, 50s, 40s, very put together. She always looks so cute. And that red lipstick, oh my god, the red lipstick, I think it was something that really was ingrained on me since I was a kid. It was for me, it was the ultimate. I would play with it. I would not play, but I would be opening and closing and be oh grandma, how does it smell? And I remember the package distinctively that had like round, I don't know how to call it, but it was like just a texture. And the red lipstick, that color that is like kind of cold, kind of dark, but still very, very, very red. Such a good time. So yeah, one of grandma, red nails, the other one, red lips. You know, there was no other way that I would end up any differently. I am needing some love right now, so I'm going with my Fiera concealer, which is very creamy, very moisturizing. It's dry. It's like I don't even know how to explain. So yeah, that's the vibe. And I always felt that was so funny for my grandma. She would like just get so ready with like red lipstick, even if she was going to the street fair. It was like this, like grocery shopping. Yeah, let me get ready. She was always very ready and very like. I wish I was like that. Like I do like dress myself well, like daily. Well, like I never wear sweatpants and things like that because it's not to my liking. Like it's not something. This is part of me, but I don't go all out like high heels wherever I go. Not to that extent, but I like to think I do her justice. Not that she would care, she would love us anyway. She was very loving. Or my face with the MAC glow. As I said, if I'm trying to go for a natural vibe, this is it. Very good, at least for my skin tone. And now a little more, because I wanna go more for like red lips. Who's surprised right now? So I want like some like healthy cheeks, not overboard but healthy. And I think in the end I learned a lot with both my grandmas about them and through them, but even when I wasn't with them. So through histories and stories that were told, my mom had that beautiful wood vanity since I was a child. And that was like a dream for me. Since I was a child, I needed a vanity and it was gorgeous. And my granddad actually made that with his own hands, the vanity out of wood for my grandma, and my mom used it after. And it was like the most beautiful piece. And my other grandma also had one, very similar. So in both houses, whenever I would go, I would be like, I need this. And I would spend hours just looking at it and imagining like women sitting, looking at the mirror and tending and having that relaxing moment with themselves. That was like the dream. After that, life goes, it's over, I'm done. And now I have mine, and that's exactly how I feel. I take 1 hour doing my makeup if I can, and it's just such a relaxing and soothing moment, even though they didn't do makeup per se, you know, just brushing your hair and looking at yourself and caring for yourself, that caring moment, just loving yourself moment. That's something that I learned, even though it wasn't directly through them, but imagining creating those stories in my head. Though my mom did use the vanity, so I do remember my mom sitting and applying lipstick. And whenever it was a party, like a costume party, and I would have to wear like some lipstick to, you know, be part of the character, my mom would apply on me. It was like best day in the year. And like, I was like, done. Oh my God, I'm wearing red lipsticks right now as a child. Like that, I was like, I don't know, 7 years old. It was just like mind blown. So yeah, you can see when I'm like this, yeah. So I think we did enough with the blush. Oh my God, I've been talking with fluffs in my face. That's great. I will contour a little bit with the milk, just because, you know, sometimes it's very natural, but in videos sometimes it makes a little bit of difference. And because of the red lips, I thought just a little more, you know, can't hurt. Yeah, I think it looks very natural. And now the e.l.f. Hello Glow wand. I'm still kind of testing this, but I do like the glow. I think it's mild, it's not like super. I'm not going for anything very extra because, you know, this is an ode to our grandma's look, so grandma did not use highlighter, though apparently I think I have memories of grandma using Vaseline. So, and I think it's funny, the things about grandmas is that sometimes they become quite kiddish, right? Like kind of like a tacky grandma things. But I never, like, of course, some things are, but they always come back. Like, even crochet things now are back. And I do remember clearly my grandma making crochet and trying to teach me, but as a 7 years old, that looked like impossible to me. Even though I did other types of embroidery, crochet was like, whoa. Yeah, I come from like a Portuguese Italian family, so we're doing, you know, art stuff since we were kids. So yeah, it's weird, but yeah, 7 years old, I already did embroidery. But crochet was too much. No, crochet was like, whoa, what is that? I remember my grandma trying to teach me, and I feel so bad. I was like, oh man, I couldn't focus. It was like just too much for me as a kid. So now we're going for powder. This is like I feel like such a vintage vibe about this one. Like it has to be used in a moment like this because it's so much like the kind of like lady experience where you get a little powder and dun, 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 you know, like, wow, the experience. And now I'm just gonna bring the blush back a little bit with this blush. I always mix both of them because I don't know, those colors are just absolutely gorgeous and just work well. And something we touched a little bit about already is just like the caring of the grandma. I was like, for me in my life, I didn't even want to be a mom in the past, and now I'm just like, grandma is goals. I don't want to be mom, I want to be grandma, because that's goals. Because it's just like a different feeling. If anyone can relate to what I'm saying, it's just like different, the relationship you have with your grandma. I know people say, you know, it jumps one generation, so it's like you don't do very well with your parents because there's a lot of conflicts. Though I do have a good relationship with my parents, but there's a lot of like fighting and, you know, heads beating. But with your grands, it's usually because it jumped a generation. That's what people say. You just understand each other because you are in the same vibe. I don't know if that actually happened, but I did go along very well with my grands. They were great. So I am just going to do very little in the eyes because they didn't do much. So I just apply a little bit of blush, and I'm going with my basic palettes like the Elf, Taupe, the Rosy. I'm gonna show it, but I'm just going to do very neutral eye, even though in the video Lisa did a blue eyeshadow, which was very trendy back then, and I don't remember ever seeing my grandma or any of them using the blue eyeshadow, but I do remember that as a thing, and I did try that look before. It's really cool. Maybe one day we're going to do it again, but right now we're just going for following my grandmoms. So they are going to be the ones influencing me in this video. And yeah, I think it's about the caring, you know, like food is something that makes me think about them a lot. One of my grandmas didn't really like cooking because she liked sewing, she liked other things. She was extremely smart and she was very good in what she did, but she didn't like cooking. But she still had like her, you know, nice coffee with milk for me. And the bread we have in Brazil, something that is called French bread, which is not French and you can't find it anywhere else, and it's very particularly because, you know, it's our flour and all. I don't think I've ever seen it made outside Brazil correctly. Anyways, and you would like take the middle part, which is the soft, leave like the shell, which is more crunchy, spread butter, make like a canoe with it, and then dip it in the coffee with milk. That's the right way to do it, you know. A lot of Brazilians, I think, eat like this, but some people think it's gross, but it's very popular in Brazil actually. But that was the correct way my grandma taught me as a kid, and I think she did for my dad too. She did it exactly the same. So it's a very nice connection, you know, with family and roots and story. I really love those moments, and of course I love it to pieces up to this day, even though I can't get it here in Canada. I tried, but it's not the same. me saying that I was going to do a basic eye, but I think with the red lip, this is gonna carry well. I just did a Mesh palettes here. I'm gonna list them down below. And yeah, and the grandma thing for me, it's about the caring, the love, and even I was talking about my grandma that doesn't like cooking, but you know, even when I think about my grandma that actually likes like cooking. I just think about like all of that food, but it's about the love, you know, the bread pudding and the pasta. She was, you know, Italian, and she cooked really, really well. We certainly missed her and all the love she poured into the food, because that's what it's about. Even my other grandma that didn't like cooking much, it's about the love and the caring, you know. She would like do all of the food because she wanted us to be united around the table and to be happy. And that's what it was about, and I miss that. And I feel like it's not just because we're in a like time of year where, you know, family all gets together and you think about people that you love, people that are not with you anymore, unfortunately. But it's also like, if you think about it, when you do your makeup, even though we're like having all of this relaxing time and all, we're staring at ourselves, and you know, we're carrying those genes, so you can look at yourself and be like, oh, this eyebrow, oh, I recognize where this comes from. Oh, I recognize this nose, this eyes, and all of those small things that are mishmash of both sides, and you can, you know, take a little bit of each one. And it's really nice because you can always remember them just looking at your own reflection, just like, I remember you. There's a little piece right there. Yeah, for example, when I look at myself, like, I know this nose bridge, I know where it comes from. That's from my dad's side. My grandma had like that bridge like more prominent too. And my forehead, I know it comes more from my grandma, my mom's side. Like, there's like the pieces, you know, like I do consider myself a good mishmash, as I said, but if you very pay attention, you can see. And I guess that for you guys would be the same. Like, you'd be like, oh, this little thing here, I know where it comes from. And it's funny how through the ages, like your ages, when you get older and older, you start resembling someone in your family more than other, and then sometimes you look more like one side, one person. It's really funny to see that depending on your age. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm leaving the red lipsticks for last because it's the core finale. But I wanted to talk about something like family, even though, you know, I have the privilege of having like a all blood related and like a nice family that like took care of me. Family is not just about blood, but it's about forging the relationships. Sometimes, even though you don't have like a traditional family, it doesn't matter. You still have those bonds forged with someone. They might not be blood related, and it might not be the same, it might not be standard, it might be friends. It doesn't matter, it's still family. And we can still sometimes even, well, some people say they can still see how you gain things from those people even though they're not blood related. Sometimes it's mannerisms, way of speaking. That's what brings family together, is the relationship, the time you spend, the quality time you spend with them, and the exchange of love and caring. We talk a lot about coloring the channel, and I think it's really funny to me to see like how my coloring migrated almost totally from, you know, the genetic dominant side of the family, which is my grandma, like with the more, I think that's how it's said, the more like the Arabian blood, because she's from Portugal, and also her family came from the invasion when, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, the Arabians invaded the peninsula and they, you know, mixed with everyone there. And my grandma had like beautiful, heavy, jet black hair and dark brown eyes, and all those features, like the darkness, they just prevalent. They're prevalent because it's a dominant gene. So when I look at it, like, you cannot hide. It's just like, yeah, the darkness. And I had so many chances of being blonde too, because my mom is blonde and my other grandparents, they are kind of blonde. And it was like, a lot of people are blonde in my family and have green and blue eyes. But, you know, genetic lottery. here I am, there's no hiding, and I love it. I never wanted anything to change. I never be like, I could have been blonde, I could have been blue eyes. It's all beautiful, and I love when I stare at myself, like I love where this comes from, and it's really great. I do feel like I could use some mild highlighter from my Divine palette. Well, it's the Hourglass palette, but it's Divine in my opinion. Just to make it a little more, 50s glam. I think it's fitting. And also, I wanted to say, getting to know your roots, where you come from and all of that, it's a way that, helps you not to want to try to change. There's nothing wrong with like trying to define someone here and change a little bit there, and I think like that's totally normal. But it helped me to try to accept myself and like not want to change anything, because most people do have something like they want to change. For most people it's the nose, which was for me too, and for everyone that I would say that, everyone would be like, why? And I'm just saying what they told me. It's not like, oh yeah, I know my nose is perfect. But it's just like, now I'm like, I don't think that any other nose would fit me, because this is the nose that, my family made, and I love it. It's like, and if I saw another nose here, it would be really, really weird and hard to accept after 35 years. So I'm good, I'm fine. Just some contour sometimes, but not to change it radically, just to emphasize. And that brings me to, when I was a teenager, I wore, dark eyeliner like most teenagers back then, like I guess the beginning of the 2000s, that was very trendy. And I came all full circle back to, you know what, I'm gonna enhance my eyes because they look more pop and vibrant, because, they are dark, but when I use the darkness around them, the brown looks, more vibrant. And I've been loving that. I've been doing that almost every single day. So, it's a full circle to try to, connect with your own features, and it's really cool. And I'm not necessarily doing things in a correct order of application, because I'm just, winging it. Like, what do I want right now to support those beautiful features that I have and were giving to me, and those red lips. I should really have done my nails already moisturized beforehand, so let's do it. She did not use a lip liner, just a disclaimer. And I usually don't, but since I was aging, I noticed that I like the application more with a little bit of liner. And I'm not overlining at all my lips. I'm actually probably doing the opposite. I don't like overlining my lips. And now wet red lip. Oh, we already have a how to do red lips video. It's a very recent video. It's one that I really put a lot of work in, and I do recommend. If you want to check it out, I'm gonna link it here. So yeah, hers was red and did not run from this fact. And I have like some samples here from MAC. The Love Me liquid lip color. This formula is absolutely gorgeous, but I don't use that much lipstick to, buy all of those. The samples are more than enough. I think I'm going to mix E for effortless and Yeah, I'm Fancy. Yeah, I'm Fancy in the middle. Oh yes. So this is kind of orangey, but I think I can make it work. The act of putting on red lipstick, I feel like it's such a throwback to me, to like ladylike feeling. Probably my grandma. My mom, a little bit. She didn't go for like red. She liked the 90s brown, rusty, not really like orangey, but more like rusty brown, and was like her signature color. So yeah, just seeing this reminds me so much of that feeling, I think I nailed it, because her color was a lot like this. It's bright but deep at the same time. I was losing track here trying to make the makeup application perfect. It's just because red lips do really deserve that, I feel like. And this is a really good formula. I do recommend them. They are super comfortable. I just didn't buy them because, I don't need 3,000 lipsticks. I don't use that many lipsticks, but the sample is more than enough. So if you can grab a sample, it's also like a great tip too. But if you need it to, you know, last a long time, which wasn't my grandma, she would like just, you know, reapply it, very ladylike and very cute. You need something like this or this, okay? Matte vinyl finish, and that would do. I think I would make my grandma proud with this red lip. I think I would make my grandma proud with this red lips. I think I look great. And it's not about, you know, how you look, it's about how you feel like you look, you know, and bringing all those feelings, all the care, the love that grandmas, you know, can give us. But again, if that was not your experience, I wish you had that experience with, you know, someone else, with your mom, aunt, maybe, you know, adopted friends, whoever it is. I hope you have that feeling of love and care. And if you didn't, you can always give it to someone and bring those feelings. Wow, I'm having old lipstick problems. I think I applied too much. But I hope you know, can bring those feelings into this festive part of the year, which is so lovely, so cozy, so nice. I would really love to stay here the whole day just telling you stories and things about my grands, because, you know, they were lovely, they were worth it, and they are missed. But we cannot. So I hope you can share some stories if you're inclined to do so, and your experience, and, you know, good vibes. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that jazz. And most importantly, I hope you have an awesome day. See you in the next one.